The whole gospel of the salvation of sinners is rooted and grounded in the grace and mercy of God, and not in the wisdom, in the strength, in the smartness, or in the free will, or in the good works of fallen men. This is exactly what offends man. This is what man hates. This is the offense of the gospel, that there is nothing, absolutely nothing for man to pat himself on the shoulder and to be proud of himself. No works, no rest of goodness or inherent goodness or common grace or whatever you want to call it. And certainly no sovereign free decision for God without regeneration first. And man hates the fact that he has no hand at all in his own salvation, and that he is completely thrown at the mercy of God. Keep in mind, I remind you again, that the complaint of verse 60 did not come from the hostile Jewish leaders and their followers who took pretty much offense at anything that Christ said. This statement comes from disciples, from the people who were following Jesus, who were sympathetic and open to listening to him. And while disciples in this context doesn't mean apparently a whole lot, and while it is not equal to believers, it does describe people who are somewhat associated, or who somewhat associated with the Lord Jesus Christ, just as many evangelicals are doing today. You have to understand that if you begin or venture to reinterpret Jesus' statement of the sovereignty of God, that no one can come unless the Father draws him, if you begin to reinterpret this hard truth in order to accommodate people's sensitivities, our whole text doesn't make any sense anymore. Then Christ's words would be no offense, would they? They wouldn't be a hard saying. And then there's no reason for the disciples' response anymore. So if what Christ says in verse 60, just to be very clear, if that would not be what it seems to be on face value, that no one can come unless the Father sovereignly draws him, if that is not meant this way, then where is the offense? Why is it a hard saying? This just proves once again that the doctrine of the sovereignty of God in election is absolutely true, and it is crystal clear.